In this video, we traveled just outside Belfast to visit the Ulster Folk Museum, an open-air living museum. I love these kinds of museums, and this is a good one. Join us! Hi all, it's V, and behind me is the Ulster Folk Museum, which is like the open-air history museum. I love these places. It is fantastic, and there are people dressed in the time, period clothing. Really, really good, really interesting. So come along and I'll show you what I saw. Thanks for watching. We took the train from the center of Belfast out to Ballycultra. It's a very short train ride, and it's about a 15 to 20 minute walk to the Folk Museum. And I should warn you, if you're going to walk it, it is straight uphill. Now I made it so anybody can make it, but it's not the easiest hill. Labourer's Cottage on T Lane. The Folk Museum houses a variety of old buildings and dwellings which have been collected from various parts of Ireland and rebuilt in the grounds of the museum. They show visitors a rural way of life in the early 20th century. It's a town that they call Ballycultra, and you really do feel like you're stepping back in time. In some of the buildings, they have people with presentations. The doctor's office had a doctor, and he was hilarious. He asked us if we would knock on the door and say there's an emergency so he could go get a drink, and his wife wouldn't know any better. One lady was baking bread, so we got to try the bread. It isn't just the buildings, it's the people too, to give you a real feel for what this village would have been like back in the early 20th century. Presbyterian Meeting House. There are shops, churches, a picture house, typical cottages, big houses, small houses, houses from different workers, different types of workers. It's honestly done so well. I love museums like this. It is just down the road from the Transport Museum, which we didn't have time to go into, but it may be worth spending the entire day and doing both museums. I love that museums like this focus on what was once the norm. It was everyday life, but now it's so different to everyday life. It's great that they preserve this era and keep this past alive. They also have special events during the year. I'd love to go back around Christmas. Maybe one of these days. Hope you all enjoy it. Thank you so much for watching. Oh, the old bicycles. Oh, wow. The coal yard. Oh, wow. And this is the weighbridge where trucks would get weighed. Northern Banking Company Limited. Church of Ireland. And the bank. Northern Bank and Bank Manager's House. Date original was built in the 1920s. This would be the bank manager's cottage, connected to the bank.
How are you?
Hi, fine, thanks.
Welcome.
It was a bit shocking to hear a voice. I thought she was talking to herself until I heard your voice. Oh, good, she's not lost it completely.
I thought it their own private pump.
Yeah, and the house would.
Oh, what a beautiful garden. Wow.
Hello.
Oh, hello.
Sorry, didn't mean to frighten
Sorry.
you. Yes.
Oh.
Want to try some bread?
Beautiful bedroom. Really good size. You can see where it's thatched. Oh, what a beautiful place. Ballycultra post office. Oh, there's a letterbox. Postage. Stamps. This is obviously the police station. So this stove looks a lot like my great-grandmother's. She had a wood-burning stove, and you had to pick up each little thing and put more fire in. Put more fire in, put more wood in even, you know, to make fire. Ooh boy. And I just had a coffee. You'd think my brain would be functioning. It's in a beautiful building. I'll show you. I can step backwards without falling over. Isn't that pretty? Section of the internal mud wall from the original house clearly shows how the mud has been combined with wooden stave and straw rope for strength of construction. Oh wow. Sorry. Oh my gosh, is that the house? Yeah. Wow. That's part of the actual wall. So that is the photograph of the house before they brought it to the museum. And then this shows what the wall would have looked like. Whitewashed, but then the clay daub and twisted straw rope. Oh, look at the beams. This is the fisherman's house. So that was a lady with the soda bread and the fire on. There's the pub. It's not a real pub anymore. So the first guy we talked to said back then a lot of pubs had caskets. They would hold on to the caskets in the bottom where it was cool, and that a lot of publicans ran a pub, ran the funeral home, mortuary. They ran several things. Next time, it's the last of my Belfast videos, and we get out of the city to see some nature, some beautiful scenery, and the Giant's Causeway. Plus, maybe a couple Game of Thrones locations. See you then.